Welcome to the show. We finally get there. My name's Nick Moose-Batsford. I'm joined by Matt Brown. Matt, very good morning to you.
Good morning.
Right, with further ado, let's go through some slides that we prepared a little bit earlier. Let's kick off with the market movers. The headline, European markets flat, banks and oils down, semiconductors up. Give me a couple of thoughts.
Banks a little bit weaker this morning. Oil stocks are down. US inventories rose. So it's pushed oil down, crude down about 1% today, so the likes of BP, Shell, etc. are down. Semiconductors are up. Apple last night reported some strong numbers, beat market expectations. The key thing for Apple, though, and investors, their fourth quarter revenue expectations were higher than expected. What does that mean? It means the Apple 8, the iPhone 8, could be on track. There was talk about that being delayed. It looks like if their revenue is going to be as good as expected, things look on track there. But as you and I well known, you're only as good as your last phone with these companies.
Boom, boom.
We talk about Nokia, we talk about Apple. So look, fingers crossed for Apple. The iPhone 8 is good, but the market likes that, and semiconductors are up on the back of that.
Let's go to a FTSE 250 stock today. One to watch, William Hill.
Yeah, doing very well, and we're in glory. Well, we have glorious Goodwood at the moment, so everyone putting on a few bets. Now, William Hill beat expectations. They're up 10%. Note they are in the FTSE 250, not the FTSE 100. But if they carry on going up, they may well get there. Now, numbers are good. Revenue online is where it's key. Nobody's going to the betting shops anymore, and online punters are spending twice as much online. I mean, probably betting shops. Or the outside of betting shops, as our viewers will know, they're full of crusty old bettors. People want they want to deal online, and that is the definitive move. Look, they weren't great numbers, but better than the market expected, and now they're up 10% on the back of that.
Understood. Let's go to the AIM markets. One to watch, Hornby. What's caught your attention here, Matt?
Well, look, Hornby are actually owned by Phoenix Asset Management. So, they own 73% of the stock. They want to get the final remaining 27% and the stock's up about 5%. But it could mean that Hornby is no longer traded on the AIM market, and a lot of train and Scalextric enthusiasts, they make them as well, will probably be a little bit disappointed. But look out, the shares may get squeezed as the Phoenix partners look to get that final 27% minority stake into their coffers.
Understood. Currencies, the Great British Pound.
Great British Pound, 11-month highs at 132.38, so it's a strong push there. Again, we talked about the theme yesterday. It's more a weaker dollar. Let's look out for the MPC meeting tomorrow and how that will move. And Euro Sterling steadfast below the 90 level. So again, keep an eye out on that for the MPC tomorrow, but weaker dollar is pushing sterling higher.
Understood. Let's talk about broker forecasts. Deutsche Bank, Intercontinental Hotel.
Yeah, kind of missed this strong move by Intercontinental Hotels. They're going from strength to strength. I mean, it's an indication that there isn't a global slowdown. There's a lot of Asia spending in Intercontinental Hotels. They're currently trading up, I think, around the 43 level. So really, Deutsche Bank, a little bit behind the curve, are just moving up. But, I mean, to be honest, at the moment, broker picks, there's not much coming out. I think everyone is sitting on their hands or sitting on the beach. This was really the only big move today.
Understood. Let's move on to the core number, and I use the term loosely this morning, 200 million.
Yes, 200 million. This is the value wiped off AA shares yesterday afternoon.
Bob McKenzie.
Bob McKenzie fired, basically.
Was he fired, or his son said he resigned?
Well, it's for misconduct. Now, his son's saying he resigned for ill health, which could, legally, could be a bad thing, or sacked for ill health. So we will see how that pans out. But that's a lot to be, wipe off in a day in the stock. Underneath that, though, there was a small profit warning actually from AA. So forward numbers not as good as they had expected. So can we attribute 200 million all to Bob McKenzie? Probably not, but in my opinion, CEOs, I think 200 million to wipe off if you're asked to leave actually isn't that much. Are you worth that much? Probably. We look at some turnaround stories. We were looking at Rolls-Royce yesterday with Warren East, etc. If a CEO can get it right, they're certainly worth their weight in gold. But 200 million, not a good day for AA.
Excuse me. Let's move to the economic calendar. What's going to move the markets today?
A few things here. I think ADP non-farm employment numbers coming out, 1:15. Look for that. Always a precursor for the non-farm on Friday. It's been a bit out of kilter in recent months and hasn't given us a real direction on where the non-farm and certainly strong non-farm numbers that have been coming out of the US. But look out for that. They may move the markets and the currency. Crude oil inventories, we always mentioned yesterday, there has been a build in some US crude inventories, which has pushed the oil price down, so that again could be in play. And FOMC members, Mester and Williams speaking after they've now had the embargo lifted. So we're going to see a few more of those talking, certainly in the run up to September where the rate hike is expected. Look out for the non-farm ADP number though, for me.
Right, let's wrap up with a chart. Lots of people think charts are for sailors. This was highlighted by Jeremy Duplessis, who is a point and figure chart expert. But again, he pointed to something called on-balance volume. Do charts work where they've got their critiques? The on-balance volume very simply looks at volume on an up day and a down day and then basically amalgamates it. Very interesting that little high, okay, the sellers started to come in and the on-balance volume dropped. Who knew what, I wonder? Matt, last thoughts?
Just on this, I think somebody knew something that was coming from the FDA. There's a lot of tobacco lobbyists out there. They've got their ear to the ground with politicians and what's going on. So the FDA come out with the reduced nicotine amounts for tobacco. As you say, who knew? The charts tell us very clearly that someone does. So yeah. Interesting day today in the markets. I think the week's going to get a bit fruitier with all the macro coming through tomorrow and Friday.
Right, well that wraps up our open show, brought to you by our sponsors Beaufort Securities. You will see the badges on the slides. Thank you very much.